Escapism could be described as unlocking as many doors as you could possibly unlock to be able to find a room that doesn't have a mirror. Now, this mirror is very uncomfortable for you because you are essentially running from something that you don't want to see within yourself. So you're hoping that you go through as many doors as humanly possible so that you will find a room that doesn't have this particular mirror. So if you are familiar with escapism, this could be anything from addiction, coping mechanisms, running away from feelings, eating disorders, overeating, undereating, watching too much TV, smoking, drinking, too much internet time, it could be working, basically anything that takes you out of the present moment or how you are feeling, and then basically distracting yourself. Now, if any of you are familiar with addiction, this is a form of escapism. So basically you have an experience, a part of yourself, or something that you entirely do not want to acknowledge, and you basically try to shove it so that you don't have to look at it anymore. So what you will find is you will take jobs, go across the globe, you might find different groups of friends, you might go on a diet, basically to not look at this particular mirror. Now, this mirror has very good intentions for you. However, it gives us the ability to see what we don't want to see. So essentially, if somebody has very low self-esteem or very low self-confidence, they might imagine this mirror picturing them with having very low self-confidence. So instead of completely acknowledging that you have low self-confidence or you have low self-esteem, you will do anything in your power to make sure that you don't feel that way or to acknowledge it. Now, the mirror can be considered a loving being or embrace that it wants you to acknowledge this. So instead of completely avoiding that you might have low self-esteem or low self-confidence, you might surround yourself with people that make you have to prove that you are worth something. So typically mirrors include people, places, and things. So if you were to imagine the people that you surround yourself with, or the jobs that you get, or possibly the types of people you get into relationships with, if they all are kind of a mirror of one particular thing, you think if you move out of that particular relationship or another state or get another job that you're somehow going to have higher self-confidence. So in a state, basically, we don't want to acknowledge this particular part about ourselves because it makes it feel uncomfortable. So it's not so much about the subject that we don't want to see, but the feeling that comes behind it. So if I am a person that perhaps doesn't have a lot of confidence, then it might be a feeling of sadness, or it might be a feeling of not good enough. So this is more of the issue rather than the actual self-esteem or self-confidence issue, because that is completely fixable. But typically when we run from something, we are running from an experience or feeling or something that we deem as something that would make us unlovable. So we will try to prove ourselves in outside experiences. So what this mirror does, such as people, places, and things, or you can actually imagine a mirror in front of you and imagine it as a living being or what it would have to say. So it's very helpful to actually imagine yourself looking in this mirror and being completely present with it. So you can either take a real mirror or you can take imaginary mirror, and I want you to imagine yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror and imagine what this mirror would actually say. So typically people get a feeling of two things. They typically get a feeling of shame, and they typically get a feeling of fear. So shame and fear typically go in the same category. So shame is essentially that you feel like you are unlovable and that you feel like you're fundamentally bad. So when we actually get to acknowledge this feeling, we will actually have the power or the free will to say, is this true about me or not? Shame often comes from experiences or people that do not have our best interest at heart, or they do not have our well-being at heart. So shame could be essentially looking through someone else's eyes. Fear, on the other hand, in my opinion, is not enough information. So if you are a person that is afraid that they might have low self-esteem or low self-confidence, and they have a fear with that, there's not enough information of why you would actually feel like this. So, for example, let's say someone actually does decide that, yes, I do have a issue with self-confidence or low self-esteem. So, essentially, the first emotion that might come with it is fear or shame. And then it's very helpful to acknowledge why there is fear to begin with, because usually there is some sort of thing that you feel is going to be taken away. So typically when people feel a sense of low self-esteem, they feel that they have to be in a state of victimization or victimhood. So this is very beneficial for someone that doesn't know how to get in touch with their inner power. If you guys would like me to do a video on how to get in touch with your inner power, I would love to do that for you. So basically, victimhood allows a person to basically not be in touch with their free will or their inner power. So basically, your inner power will have to be in the grasp of your own hands instead of you having to put your trust or your opinion into other people's hands. So this means that you will have to be accountable, or you will have to take responsibility, or you will have to possibly make painful decisions about your particular life. So when people are in a state of victimhood, they are in a state of, this is a positive for me, because they are used to feeling like that. So if you would like to move out of victimhood, it's actually very helpful to find things that empower you. Oftentimes the things that we run from, there is a state of victimization, or that we can't change anything within our lives, so we just stay there and feel that it identifies us, which is completely untrue. Everyone has free will, and everybody has the power to live their own life and be successful and be in a state of happiness. So this will also be helpful when you follow your innate gifts or gifts that you were given. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next video. Have a beautiful day. Bye.